80% of runners get injured every year, and no amount of fancy foam seems to fix it. But what if the solution isn't more tech? What if it's less? Science is revealing the real story behind barefoot running, why it might be the ultimate key to performance, efficiency, and fewer injuries. In the last decade, barefoot running has gone from very fringe curiosity to now a full-blown movement backed by thousands of people worldwide. From endurance runners ditching shoes entirely to minimalist footwear brands like Vivo Barefoot and Zero exploding into popularity, something is shifting. It's returned to something ancient. Humans have been running barefoot for millennia, long before EVA foam and carbon plates existed. Think of the Tarahumara tribe of northern Mexico, running ultramarathons through canyons in thin sandals, or the very early Olympians sprinting across stone stadiums with nothing but calluses for protection. Modern running shoes, as we know them, are less than 50 years old, so the real question is, what did we lose when we started cushioning everything? I'll be honest, when I first looked into barefoot running, I was very skeptical. The first time I tried it, it felt really wrong. Felt too exposed, too risky, too weird, and the next day I was in pain everywhere. But once I actually learned to move correctly and gave my body some time to adjust, everything changed. It was a real shift. After years of chronic knee and hip pain from big contact sports like rugby, my posture got better, my joints started hurting less, my entire body felt more stable. It was a little bit like unlocking a forgotten superpower. Now I run, hike, train barefoot, or at least in minimalist shoes, and I've never looked back. So let me show you the science behind why that switch changed everything. And remember to share any of your experience in the comments section down below. Here's what the research shows. One is biodynamics. When you remove any cushioning, your gait starts changing automatically. In cushion shoes, you land very much like this, overstriding heel first. But in barefoot shoes, more like this. It's a shorter stride with a softer midfoot landing. The difference isn't just comfort, it's physics. A heel strike sends shockwaves up your leg, whereas a forefoot strike, it starts absorbing that energy like a spring. A 2010 Harvard study led by Dr. Daniel Lieberman found barefoot runners had dramatically lower collision forces at landing, that's despite zero padding. 2 is ground feel. Better ground feel means better movement. This is called proprioception, your ability to sense where your body is in space. Barefoot runners call that ground feel, and it's not just marketing. Without all of that foam and plastic, your feet can really feel the surface. They adjust, they adapt, and you move way better. It's why climbers, gymnasts, martial artists, and parkour athletes all gravitate towards more minimalist footwear. That sensory feedback, it trains your brain like a GPS. The balance, the stability, the coordination, all of that stuff goes right through the roof. Now, compare that to most modern running shoes. They have very thick midsoles that encourages a longer stride with harder landings or more impact. 10 to 12 millimeter heel lifts promote heel striking, which might feel nice short term, but over time, tight calves, postural issues, and joint stress. And then narrow toe boxes, a very aesthetic choice that crams your toes into a very unnatural position. That leads to pressure pain, foot reshaping, and even long-term issues like bunions, collapsed arches, and balance issues. When I was digging into this video, I found some really interesting real-world case studies, and a few standout examples were Christopher McDougall, who's the author of Born to Run. He transitioned to barefoot after years of chronic injuries and has ran multiple ultramarathons pain-free since. In Kenya, home to 34 Olympic golds, researchers found habitually barefoot runners had stronger foot muscles and fewer injuries than shod. And one of my clients, she recovered from plantar fasciitis at 52 using a barefoot protocol. Now pain-free, no orthotics needed. It's not magic, it's just mechanics. But what about the benefits and the drawbacks? Well, let's break it down. The benefits. First off, stronger feet, ankles, and calves, better posture and alignment, more sensory feedback, lower impact, running starts to feel more like play again. For drawbacks, it does take time to adapt. Your feet, your calves, your Achilles all need to relearn how to load. And if you go too hard too soon, shin splints, Achilles issues, or worse. And let's be real, it can feel very awkward. People might stare, your calves will scream, and that's normal, but it's temporary. And as far as transitioning safely, most people fail because they go too hard too fast. but here's how to avoid that. Step 1, start slow. Begin with walking 10 to 15 minutes a day in barefoot shoes or just true barefoot on grass or sand. Step 2, do some strengthening foot doming drills, toe splay, calf isometrics, intrinsic footwork. Step 3, very short barefoot runs. Cut your usual distance in half and then in half again. Maybe just start with 200 to 400 meters at the end of your run. And then step 4, build frequency before you start building volume. Try running more often, not just further. Focus on form, the short stride, the midfoot landing, a cadence of 170 to 180 steps per minute. Very much avoid overstriding. Step 5, of course, is choose the right terrain. Grass is gold, rubber tracks do work too, but definitely avoid concrete at first. Step 6, listen to your body. Soreness is okay, sharp pain means definitely stop right now. And a big bonus that people tend to forget about is you don't have to go all in. Many runners, myself included, rotate between barefoot and minimal shoes. Right now, I'm running a lot in these, the Ultra Lone Peak 7. They are zero drop, they have a very wide toe box, and they do have some cushioning. Why is that? It's because I'm building volume for longer distance trail runs. The point isn't purity, it's intention. Are there any other good transition shoes? Absolutely. One of my personal favorites is the Vivo Barefoot Primus Trail. This is probably the best all-rounder. And then you've got things like the Merrell Vapor Glove. They're very budget, but also very minimal. To both of those options, you can very much add insoles if you want a little bit more cushioning. So what is the future of barefoot running? Where's all this going? We're seeing the research catch up to what ancient cultures knew. Stronger feet means fewer injuries. More ground feel means better balance. Less interference means better performance. Brands like Vivo Barefoot, Zero, Wildling, very much leading the charge with research, sustainable materials, and platforms like Vivo Health, where people can educate themselves on the full repercussions and benefits of barefoot shoes. Even big brands are noticing as well, releasing thinner soles and natural motion models. The tide is shifting. This movement is growing, and it's not about running less, it's about running better. If you are starting out though, there are a few tools I would recommend. First is toe spacers. Very, very important. Just help correct a lifetime in narrow toe boxes. 2, ankle mobility. I made a video on that up here. That just helps make sure your calf and Achilles are able to properly adapt to the additional strain of running barefoot as your body starts relearning that pattern. And then of course, a very solid pair of barefoot shoes won't hurt. I've linked some down in the description below with discounts that you can access as well. You were born to run. Barefoot running isn't about being extreme, it's about taking it back to the basics. This week, I would strongly recommend just try walking outside barefoot for 10 minutes and just feel the difference. If you're already barefoot curious, tag me in your setup, I'd love to see it. Let me know in the comments down below, have you tried barefoot running? And if not, what's holding you back? Hit like on this video, and if you got value from it, maybe consider subscribing, and then share this with someone who's still heel striking like it's 1989. As always, thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.